Data Action Model by Tamia Moore. Hello, I'm Tamia Moore. I'm a Head Start teacher who currently teaches 4 and 5-year-olds in the Y Head Start Baltimore City program. This semester at University of Maryland University College, I have been studying the Data Action Model. This includes ways in which it can help improve instruction and learning within my classroom by collaborating with my personal learning community, or PLC. The Data Action Model initially was created by veenables. It is a method that helps teachers to fully engage and examine data obtained from their classrooms for gaps in learning and instruction. It also helps to develop strategies and goals, create a plan of action, and implement that plan to address the findings. The Data Action Model consists of 5 meetings with the PLC, usually lasting about an hour. Prior to Data Meeting 1, team members decide on the micro or macro data they will bring to the meeting. During the meeting, the team collaborates with each other to create notice and wonder statements, which, simply put, are observations of what they see from the data. Next, from the notice and wonder statements, team members create exploratory questions, which are questions that will produce useful information. Last, team members try to find additional data and artifacts that are relevant to the question. Additional data and artifacts include items such as lesson plans, journals, and writing assignments. Here is an example of a chart of my PLC created for Data Meeting 1. It shows the data for each student as well as the exploratory questions created. The data I chose to examine was letter recognition for my ESGI letter recognition assessment given at the beginning of the school year. My exploratory question was, is there a certain technique or process you are using to introduce and review the alphabet with your students? During Data Meeting 2, the teachers reconvened to examine the additional data and artifacts decided in Data Meeting 1. The additional data I chose to included a work sampling chart from the work sampling online system, which is based on anecdotal notes. In Data Meeting 2, each member of my PLC chose several artifacts to help examine their exploratory question. They examined the data for instructional and learning gaps and the prominence of those gaps as shown on this artifact tracking sheet. Data Meeting 3 connects the data and exploratory questions to research. It aids in the creation of SMART goals and assessments. This chart shows the connection between the learning or instructional gaps and research. The team members met and examined each other's SMART goals. Data Meeting 4, Action Planning, ties all the previous meetings together. During this meeting, team members create a plan of action using the goals created in Meeting 3. Each team member plans specifically what will be done in order to meet the SMART goal. This includes what activities will be done, who will do it, how it will be done, and when and where the activities will take place. It also includes the assessment or artifacts that would be used to evaluate success. This is my action plan tracking sheet. I will use this sheet for my students for alphabet knowledge. My PLC helped to make suggestions and examine the activities I created to reach the goals. This goal is 80% of my students will identify at least 10 letters by May 2017. As you can see, there are tactic methods acting party, frequency, completion date, and verifying artifacts. Here's an example of my instructional tactic. Use letter cards to spell out the child's name or as flashcards. My activity was a small group session at the table. The acting party is myself. The frequency would be at least once a week. The completion date would be until all the letters are recognized and placed in correct order to spell their name. And the verifying artifact would be a name puzzle completed without assistance for each student. The last meeting, Data Meeting 5, examines the action plan for success. Several questions are considered to evaluate the plan. These include the ability to be implemented, ideas for improvement, and additional tools. During Data Meeting 5, my partners and I created a chart for the questions and answers used for evaluation. I gained more ideas and strategies to use to reach my goals. I also was able to obtain technological resources to aid letter recognition. Strengths and weaknesses. One strength I had was connecting my SMART goals with activities. One weakness was the assessment portion of the action plan. I believe I need further study of the developmental milestones for my age group to connect with the goals and assessments. In conclusion, I believe that the data action model is helpful for digging deeply into the hows and whys of learning or teaching gaps. Instead of jumping to conclusions, I was able to discover methods of reasoning through research, create relevant goals, all while using technology. References: Veenables.